Welcome to Go Gardening. We're here in the Southtown area looking at a wonderful landscape that combines lots of features of pollinators and hardscape and wildscape. So we're going to meet the neighbors right now. How you doing?
Good.
Thank you for coming out. This is Go Gardening video, and we're going to talk about your wonderful landscape here that I'm really enamored with, and you're going to tell us a little bit about this pollinator wildscape landscape.
Indeed.
So, welcome, Jessica.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
All right, let's go investigate a little bit about your landscape.
Good.
Well, tell me a little bit about what the landscape was like when you first moved in, and then why and how you made the changes here.
Yeah, so we first moved into our home about 4 years ago. It's a brand new home in a historic neighborhood. It was actually an empty lot. I go back and look at the Google Maps, all grass with a boat smack in the middle, and they put up this nice home. In addition to the nice home, they had laid down sod, Bermuda grass sod, which looked really great at the time, but we knew we didn't want a lawn long term. I really think of that as an ecological dead zone.
Yeah.
So we wanted to bring back habitat for all the wonderful creatures we live amongst, do something for them, and I thought the best way to do that was to start getting rid of some of the Bermuda grass and bringing back the natives.
Oh, right after my heart. Perfect. So, how did you start developing a plan?
Well, we didn't know where to start, and it was quite overwhelming, in fact. So we did a bunch of Googling online, and we eventually came across a landscape designer. Her name is Jean Robinson. We thought she'd be a really great fit for us based on her designs that we saw and her personal interest in natives. And she helped come up with this design, and then it was on us to implement.
All right. So
Yeah.
she gave you kind of a design and a plant palette, and then you were going to fill in, or did she just give you the options and give you a whole bunch of lists of plants to go?
No, she kind of mapped out everything very nicely. She, in addition to like the map, she gave us a list of plants and local resources to turn to, and she's still there. She still provides us guidance to this day.
All the time. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Well, we're going to look at a little bit of that nasty Bermuda grass, shall we?
Oh, if you'd like.
Jessica, tell us a little bit about the grass. Now, I'm not a big grass aficionado, so I see you've made some changes. So how did you do that?
Yeah, so this is Bermuda grass. We wanted to replace it with natives. To start chipping away at some of this Bermuda grass, we actually did work with landscapers who went in and dug it out manually. They went at least 6 inches down and dug out that Bermuda grass and then put in that edging where we started to install the plants. And moving forward, we hope to continually pull in that edging and expand the mulch bed.
So I always like to tell people, oh, it's grass, you have to water, fertilize, mow it all the time. And if you go to what you've been doing, you have this lovely edge effect with all these pollinators. So that is so much less work in the long term. So yeah, think about expanding your beds. And I do want to talk about the hardscape right here, this lovely path. This is what actually caught my eye. I went, oh, look at those plants and that path.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this path. Was this the original, or did you change this?
Well, indeed, this is largely the original path when we moved into our home about 4 years ago. The only change that we made is to the size of the landscaping rock, the shadow stone. It was a much smaller stone when we first moved in, which actually meant more weeds were coming through, and the shadow stones are making a mess all over. Since we installed these bigger, heavier stones, we've not had the weeds breaking through, nor have we had the mess we used to have.
Yeah, it looks like what they technically call 3/8 to an inch, maybe 1.25 inch
Yeah,
size.
I can't recall the size, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, okay, great. Well, you'd mentioned earlier about a curb appeal.
Yeah.
Let's go over to the street and look at the house and the curb appeal. So, Jessica, we commonly call this the hellscape, if you will. That's frequently what we call it. But I noticed that it's the curb between this and the sidewalk.
Yeah.
and usually very hot, very dry, very sunny. So grass doesn't necessarily go well, but I see you have these lovely native plants. Tell me a little bit about all the plants and why you chose them.
We did, and this was actually our design. Initially, the landscape designer had suggested coral drift roses. I think that's what they're called. But we said, no, we want to do all native. And so we did a lot of research on some Facebook groups, in fact, that are focused on native plants to find those plants that will do well in the health strip. So can tolerate a lot of sun and a lot of heat. And these are the ones we came up with. It's primarily dominated by Blackfoot daisy right now because they spread so much. But the intent is to bring more balance. We've got some pink skull caps here, some damianitas, of course, the Mexican feather grass and the sinizos.
So a lovely balance between what we call mounds and spikes. So we got a little mounding and we got some little spikes here and there. So I love to use that term because it's a great term. People can understand it. Oh, I see what you're saying. A little mounding and then some spiky stuff here and there. So and behind us we have some of the Salvia gregii.
Yeah, some Salvia gregii. We've got a whole lot of those, in fact, all around the Bermuda grass. They do well in our climate, but I have found they don't do as well as some of these other plants during peak summer. They get a little bit crispier than other plants.
So they're mostly a fall, winter, spring, maybe?
I think so, and you know what? They're doing okay now because we've had a relatively cool and wet summer, so they're doing okay. But give them a week with hot temperatures and without any rain, and they crisp up. They don't die, but they crisp up.
Any maintenance issues or things that you tend to do on those?
In regards to the Salvia gregii?
Yeah.
No, not too much. Just a bit of pruning and deadheading here and there.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how much pruning do you do?
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, this was the curb appeal, but I'm really enamored about your backyard and what it really is. It's a really true wildscape. And we don't often like to use that term because people, you know, oh, wild, but let's just say it's a pollinator scape. How about that?
Sure.
All right, let's go look at it.
Okay.
I had a thought. Before we go to the back, let me look at this and kind of demonstrate all the lovely color combinations here. That really struck me. So did you plan on that?
Yes, we plan for a variety in terms of shapes and species and different colors. So we've got the lipstick pink Salvia gregii, the red, the white, the purple of the Cenizo, the Damianitas pop a vibrant yellow.
And then the white of the
and of course, and that pops as well.
All right.
Blackfoot daisy,
So yeah, it's kind of like as I strolled by, I thought, oh, what a wonderful color combination. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Great. So let's go to the back now. Oh, let's go this way.
These were some, I think, are those limestones that I dug up and just used them as some nice decorative stone. The lantanas do excellent, by the way, in this weather. They are so hardy.
Tell me about this sign right here. I love this sign.
Yes, pardon the weeds, I'm feeding the bees. Our lawn is not nicely manicured, and it does to some people look weedy, but indeed it's not. We're feeding the pollinators, and I like to let people know that. And this sign used to be out front when our front yard looked a little bit more overgrown, if you will, to prevent neighbors from taking their mowers to our
which
weeds.
Which may or may not have happened
Correct.
in the past. We're not saying anything. All right. Well, let's go in the back and look at it. All the lovely plants. Jessica, I love the plants in this backyard. It is truly a wildscape. Not to everybody's taste, but it really appeals to me. Tell me a little bit about what we have here, all these plants.
Well, we've got a whole lot, but I can start out with some of the petals. We've got the circle, the center point, and radiating from the circle, we've got 4 petals. Over there is the frog fruit, which is loved by the littlest, teeniest, tiniest of pollinators.
It is. It's coming on in fashion. Yeah. What else do you have?
Side oats grama in this petal. We've got Greg's mist flower, not at its best right now, but that's what we've got going on in that petal.
It's a fall one. It's coming on.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then pigeon berries, which have been a little bit difficult to get established in this petal, but they're doing their best. They lost some shade recently. A big hackberry came down right over here, but they're hanging on.
And there was this wonderful yellow one.
This one is Zexminia.
Zexminia. Now, as I often have frequently told people, there are 2 kinds. There's a native one, and then there's a tropical one. Beware of the tropical one because it gets out of control.
Well, which one do I have?
Well, you have the native one, so that's okay. So anyway, some of the other plants that I really love is these small trees. So we have the kidney wood. We have the name escapes me all the time.
Golden lead ball.
Golden lead ball. And then right behind me is one of my favorite ones, Carolina buckthorn, that's also here native. So wonderful plants, low story, kind of herbaceous, and small trees. So the only thing we had in the back was a hackberry, which we has a lot. Are you thinking about any new big shade trees?
Yeah, we sure are. I don't know what's going to fit in that area. It's not a huge space. We don't want to go too big, but yeah, we've got a couple on our list. I think we have to continue to do research on that.
Oh, do you know what those are? What are the couple that you're thinking about?
Well, our friend Michael had recommended white chin oak, Lacey's oak, Eve's necklace, little leaf walnut, which I had never heard of. So those are a couple we've got on our short list, but we're going to have to continue to do our research.
All right. One thing that many people forget about on their wildscape is sources of water. So we're going to take one more look over at the wonderful water feature.
Yeah.
All right, let's go look at it. So, Jessica, a lot of people forget about live water in their wildscape, and that's so important. So tell me a little bit about this little water feature. How did you choose it, and kind of why?
Well, we thought these are natural rocks. They call them Big Bend rocks, and we thought they fit in with the wildscape really nicely. There's an underground basin there, threw some landscaping Mexican rocks on top, and placed the 3 Big Bend rocks there, ran the pipe through it, and that was that. But all the birds love it, especially during migration season. We get such diversity in terms of birds, warblers, orioles, painted buntings. We've had them all.
Okay. You're not letting all that water go. That is actually recirculated through, right? So loss is pretty minimal on that.
Correct.
All right. And speaking of water, how often do you water the entire backyard?
We don't.
There you go. That's the correct answer I wanted. Yeah, we don't. So everything is watered by nature right there.
Yeah.
So recycling water by nature. Sounds like it's a great maintenance program.
Yeah, once you get things established, it's pretty easy.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching, and I want to thank Jessica and Amir for allowing us to be on their landscape. It is a work in progress, correct?
Indeed it is. It's a work in progress, but it's been a fun journey so far, and we look forward to having you out here next year for an update.
Thank you so much. Yes, it looks very beautiful, and I can't wait to see the future project on that. So everyone, thanks for watching Go Gardening. Now, let's go out there and go garden and save some water. Thanks.
Ever wonder where all of the water we use to drink, bathe, cook, garden, and put out fires comes from? Ever wonder how our water supply is safeguarded to ensure it's there for generations to come? The answers to all your questions will be waiting for you at the Edwards Aquifer Authority Education Outreach Center. Book your free visit today at eaaeoc.org. The EOC is the place to be.
Well, Marshall, you have one of the largest citrus selections that I know here in San Antonio. And so I just want to introduce some of them. And you can tell me exactly what citrus you have, because I'm always amazed when I've hit. Oh, well, here we are. Well, welcome to Go Gardening. I'm here at the Thousand Oaks Rainbow Gardens, and I'm here with Marshall Grill, and he's going to tell me a little bit about all the plants they have here. I always consider this place, if you can't find it anywhere in San Antonio, come to Rainbow Gardens on Thousand Oaks, because you'll be able to find it here. So let's go in and talk a little bit about the citrus, shall we?
Let's take a look.
Well, Marshall, tell me a little bit about your selection of citrus we have.
We've
here.
got everything from grapefruit, pomelos, lemons, limes, satsumas, some of the harder to find ones like the Kiefer lime, the Australian finger lime.
Let's go look at this. So what are these ones on each side here?
We've got tart kumquats.
Uh-huh.
It's a little delicacy.
Uh-huh.
Nice and sweet, but a little sour.
And what about those over there?
The Arctic frost satsuma, that's one Dr. Moy introduced. It's one of the most cold hardy satsumas you can plant.
Is that still growing on its own root, or do we have to graft it?
It is grafted at this point.
Okay, at this point, because of the lethal yellow or yellows greening
Correct.
of that. And what about over here?
We've got some Valencia orange, some Washington navel. If you're looking for a sweet orange, these ones I would grow in a container.
Okay, because they are kind of frost sensitive.
They're frost sensitive, and we're getting colder.
Okay. Ooh, what about those on the end there?
We've got some Meyer lemons down at the end. If you're looking for a nice, mostly cold hardy lemon.
Okay, so you got Myers. Do you also have Ponderosa?
We don't have Ponderosa right now, but we do get it. We've got Lisbon
good.
and variegated Eureka.
Okay, so for the audience, the Myers lemon tends to be a little round and orangey tasting, and the Ponderosa is more what we consider a sharp lemon on that. Cool. Oh, so let's go over there into what I think is the most unusual aspect here in San Antonio that you have, and that's the succulents.
Let's take a look at all
All right, it's time of year for succulents.
It is. It's nice and hot, and they love it.
All right. And Marshall, a quick note on this Myers lemon. You mentioned containers.
Right.
So what do you think about some of these in containers and not in the ground? We used to do everything in the ground.
We have historically, but we've been getting colder with the winters we've been having, so a lot of citrus has been dying. There's a trade-off when doing that. You're going to lose some of the productivity of the plant. It's going to be dwarfed, but you'll be able to grow it for seasons instead of when that winter comes and knocks it out.
Okay, so it's safer than to keep in a container.
Definitely
rather
safer.
than put it in the ground.
For sure.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. One of the great things about Rainbow Gardens here in Thousand Oaks is your selection of succulents. I think it's one of the better ones here we have in San Antonio.
Oh, thank you. We've been working hard on this section, trying to bring in a little bit of everything for everyone.
And what's the thought behind bringing in so many succulents?
We're only getting hotter, so having some more xeric options is a great thing to have in the landscape.
Oh my God! What's this right here?
That used to be a big mesquite tree that was up here, and it died about a year ago, and we had it carved up into a saguaro cactus.
I thought it was a saguaro.
It
scared
probably
me.
As heavy as one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I am really impressed on the amount of succulents you have. You have anywhere from agaves to maybe some of these.
We got mangaves, manfredas, nolinas, yucca, hesperallos. some more frost sensitive like fence post cactus. So we've got a whole lot of options here.
Okay, well good. If you want a succulent, come on over.
Yeah, come check us out.
All right, cool. So a lot of people like this variegated agave. I know it's very popular.
They are.
And we're talking about the succulents can go in the ground or in pots, but some succulents need to go in a pot.
Some are going to do a lot better in container, like
Yeah.
this smooth silver peso agave. It'll start taking damage at 32.
At 32.
Correct.
All right. So we always like to say it gets a little nervous at 42,
Yeah.
and it's going to get damaged at 32.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you have it in container, you can bring it into the garage or somewhere in the
Okay.
house for the winter, keeping it safe.
Okay. But in general, as a big rule, we can do succulents either in pots or in the ground.
Either or. Just make sure you have
We
good
just got to
drainage.
know which one.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Let's go this way.
Perfect.
Well, Marshall, let's go over and look at one of my favorite places in the garden is the perennials. Oh my goodness. What is this?
These are our avocados. We've got about 10 different varieties of
10.
10.
You know, most places only have 2,
I probably
maybe
have
1.
Haas and something else.
Yeah, okay, you have 10. So, we're just talking about containers. These probably should go in the container all
Most
the
definitely.
time. Not in the ground, but in the container.
You're going to be a lot more successful
Okay.
in a container.
Oh, yeah. But what do you think? We have about 10. What do you think is most cold tolerant?
Most cold tolerant is going to be the Don Juan avocado.
Mm-hmm.
They can go down to 15 once it's developed bark.
Okay. Which ones taste the best?
Probably Haas,
Ah, yes, that is my favorite.
but it is the most frost sensitive.
Oh,
It'll take damage at 32.
oh, okay. So probably on big pot on rollers or something or something.
Exactly. And bring it in the garage.
Or maybe a small forklift.
Small
right?
forklift if you get it big enough.
Okay, cool. All right, let's keep on going to the perennials. You know, Marshall, we talked a little bit about some plants kind of going dormant, not color. But when we want to talk about color in August, boy, bougainvilleas are it.
It's probably your best bet for the summer. As it gets hotter, they just bloom more and more.
All right, and there's multiple colors. We got mostly a hot pink here, but they come in what other colors?
We get orange, we get dark purple, light pink, variegated foliage in pink, some whites, a lot of colors.
And when you come and buy these, right now these are in hanging baskets, but can you put them in a container or put them in the ground?
I'd recommend doing them in containers. They bloom a lot better in a confined root space, and they don't like temperatures below 32, so you can sometimes keep them going for a few seasons if you container grow them.
Yeah, I've found that even when you put them in the ground, put them in a container and seek them in the ground,
Yeah.
they can be root bound a little bit, and then they bloom much better.
They do.
All right. So in August, think bougainvilleas. Great flowering plant.
Great plant for the summer.
All right, cool. So what we're going to do here in one of my favorite places of your nursery is the perennial section. So I am going to pick up a plant and you're going to tell me about it.
All right, let's
And
do
we're going to go like a lightning round right through it.
it. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Is that good?
That sounds good.
All right, cool. What's this one?
We've got shrimp plant. Great for spring, summer, fall flowering in a shadier environment or a little bit of sun.
Okay. What do we have? This one.
Rock rose pavonia. It's going to bloom all spring, summer, fall. Again, beautiful in the sun.
Oh, it looks like it's in the hibiscus family.
It is. It's
All right. Okay, what do we have here?
Plumbago. You've probably seen this all over town. It does great in the sun, does great in the shade, and it'll just keep on blooming.
All right. How about this one?
And we've got purple and red porterweed. They're going to be great for your pollinators. A little more tropical, but they'll bloom all spring, summer, and fall again.
Oh, so when it gets a little coolish.
Yeah, I would either container grow these and bring them inside for the winter, or mulch them heavily and hope we have a mild winter.
Okay. Now, These are some of my favorite.
You can't go wrong with the salvia. There's so many varieties, probably over 1,000. They will bloom spring, summer, fall in the full sun. The salvia gregae, a lot of the time will stay evergreen throughout the winter and continue blooming. So great source for your pollinators.
I love them. I wrote an article a long time ago that said, say seed to salvias, and it was about 25 that I mentioned.
There is a lot.
Yeah, these are some of my, again, favorites.
Lantana, it's a great complement to the salvia. You see these in a lot of landscapes around the area. They're going to keep on blooming. They are going to freeze down in the winter, come back reliably. They're pretty bulletproof.
Now, some are kind of exotic hybrids. How do you know the difference between the real more invasive exotics and the native ones?
So the way you're going to tell is on the seed pods here, these have no seeds, where on the native strains, you typically will see these berries to them, and those can spread and be a little invasive.
Okay. So look for the nice orange and yellow colors, and then the yellow ones.
Correct.
All right. Well, I want to thank Marshall Grell for allowing us to videotape on his wonderful nursery here at Thousand Oaks Rainbow Gardens. I like to consider it the Home Depot or Walmart of all gardens, all nurseries here in San Antonio.
Well, thank you. We have a pretty large selection of anything you need for gardening. Come check us out in August. We have a lot of fresh color coming in and some good promos.
All right, thank you again. And thank you for watching Go Gardening. Let's get out there and garden and save some water.
So, how does enjoying the many beautiful parks and natural areas located in the Trinity Glen Rose Groundwater Conservation District help protect the clean water stored in the Trinity Aquifer? You can learn more at trinityglenrose.com/pollution prevention.
Litter goes with the flow. Join the San Antonio River Authority in protecting area creeks and the river. Don't let litter trash your river. Let's all be river proud.